Welcome, Poke People, to Chew News. My name is Dee Brady.
And I'm Tay Chichu.
Today's news segment, we are coming at you with a lot of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet raid news. Let me pull up our information right here. So, we just got confirmation, I believe it was yesterday. Yes, we got confirmation for our next 7-star raid event. It will be Greninja with the Poison Terra type. Now, this was teased earlier in the week, last week. We were all theorizing what was going on. I've seen a lot of YouTubers and people on social media just talk about what they thought it was. And a lot of people were correct in that it was Greninja with the Poison Terror raid. Now, those dates are going to be January 27th through the 29th, and again from February 10th through the 12th. Now, later on in the episode, we are going to talk about what kind of Pokemon we think people will be bringing to these raids because I do think it's going to be a bit complicated. I mean, these raid of battles are already complicated as is, but I think this one might be just as tough. Now, we also, in the meantime, are going to be expecting another raid event from January 20th through the 22nd. And for Pokemon Scarlet players, you'll be facing Driftblim in those Terra Raid events. And for our Violet players, you're going to be facing Miss Magius. Again, those dates are from January 20th through the 22nd. But also, this is looking a little bit further into the future. We got a Valentine's Day themed raid event for the February 13th through February 15th, and that is going to be a fairy type Tandemouse raid. Now that is, I think, just perfect because there are a couple, and I knew they were going to try and do something fairy Terra type because the Terra crown is a heart, so they could have done anything, but I just think that that's really like perfect.
Mhm.
So I know in other just regular Pokemon news, we have the Pokemon Go Lunar New Year event that is running from January 19th through January 23rd, where various Pokemon will be showcased. The main one being Darumaka. So, for any of the Pokemon Go players out there, that will be your time to shine for all of that. But until then, I will let Tay take it away for some Pokemon plush news because to my understanding, we had some sellouts of the Unova sitting cutie plushies, right?
We did, but not on the Pokemon US Center yet. They are still not on there. Granted, it has been 2 days since it launched in Japan. But we do have some sellouts on Mecha Japan, if you guys know what Mecha Japan is. It's a site where you can get Japanese plushes that aren't always sold on the Pokemon Center website, shipped to the United States. Which it's very convenient, but you also have to think about shipping from Japan is wicked expensive. So that's why I tend to wait for the Pokemon Center website. Otherwise, I mean, if there was something I really wanted, I would, but you get my gist. Anyway, on to the Pokemon. When I first went on the site yesterday, I saw that there was four of them that were sold out. It was Renucleus, which I am actually kind of shocked that it was sold out, but I want one too, so I can't really blame the people. Chandelure, Volcarona, and the last one, I think that was it at the time. But now, as we are filming this, a couple more have sold out. Zekrom, which I figured was going to sell out with Reshiram. Joltik. Joltik's a cutie. I get it. I want one too. Zora. Again, another not shocker to me because Zora, it's that emo fox who doesn't want one of those. And lastly, which is kind of a shocker now, Dweeble. Although I will
Really?
say,
Tell.
yeah, I will say though, I do also want Dweeble because it is really a very cute plush. And on my channel in a couple of days, I'm going to be filming just rating the the Pokemon sitting cutie plushes because some of them are not as fit, for lack of a better word,
Yeah.
But we'll,
Yeah.
yeah, but we'll.
Amoongus really kind of got done dirty.
Amoongus is not a fun guy anymore. In fact, he's a little stressed. And I will say, the Pokemon Center has added some new merch. But that merch not being plushes, just kind of Pokemon cards, and those tend to sell out really easily, especially because of scalpers. So, look out for that. There are still a few still in stock. To get them, it's kind of first come, first serve. So, if you're into that, you can get that. There's also a Pokemon Love Ball retailing for, I believe, $59.99, where it's just kind of like a love ball that lights up. So,
Yeah, it's one of the replicas that they've been selling. I know they've got the normal Pokeball replica. They've been doing a lot of campaigns with stuff like that. I think the most recent one before that was the Friend Ball that
yeah, that makes
they
sense.
were marketing. I personally would be looking forward to the Lure Ball because the Lure Ball is, in my opinion, one of the best Johto balls. Not just use wise, but just
In general.
because Ash caught his in general, because Ash caught his Totodile in a lure ball, Misty caught her Corsola in a lure ball. They really, obviously, because it was in Johto and that's what they wanted to showcase, they were showcasing lure balls left and right. But that was the one that we saw the most use aside from maybe a fastball.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. So it's interesting to see these. I know I probably won't be spending my money on them because I don't have a lot of display places for that type of thing. But it's for those who like it. I'm sure that they're very excited for it. I'm still excited for Big Fuecoco whenever that is gonna happen. Pokemon Center, you and I, we have a little bit of beef going on right now because of that. Because I'm still waiting for my Big Fuecoco. Anyways, I know you all have some more news for us, Dee. Go ahead.
Yes. The Pokemon anime has recently started up their final season starring Ash Ketchum. We did get some news that each of Ash's companions will be making a an appearance in each of these episodes, so we all kind of get to do a proper goodbye for all of them. Which the one that's going to hurt the most for me is May. Like Misty and Brock, yeah, that's gonna hurt because 90s kid and baby. But like I've said before, my first games were Hoenn.
Yeah,
And May and Max were some of the ones that really I bonded with because
they impacted your
reminded
childhood.
they impacted my childhood and they reminded me of me and my sister. Um, but yes, we have started that. We will discuss in a later opinions, general topics segment some of my issues because I feel like this would also be the perfect time for Ash to evolve some of his Pokemon that have not evolved yet. Because right now he
Totodile,
is
Quilava,
Totodile,
almost all of them.
almost all of them, yes. Because we also learned in this episode that Ash is starting to rotate his team. He is starting to bring in every Pokemon that he has caught and start rotating and not favoring a certain generation or whatnot. Because in this episode, he used, aside from obviously Pikachu, he used Buizel, Donphan, Sceptile, Noivern, and who else did he use? People in the comments, you can add in the last two that I cannot, or the last one that I am not thinking of. But he is bringing in his reserves, as what we would call them now, because they're no longer in their main region. I just think that's really cool and gives us like with his companions gives us time to say goodbye to his Pokemon. But like I've said before, it also could give a chance to evolve some of them. Just saying there, but it is what it is. We are going to take a quick little break, and when we come back, we are going to jump into our general topics portion of the podcast. And like I said earlier, our general topic today is talking about what Pokemon we could possibly see being the dominant one in these 7-star Greninja raids, like we've seen with Charizard and Cinderace already. So we will see you in just a quick second. All right, everybody. So this is our general topics portion of the podcast. Like we said before the break, we're going to be talking about the Greninja 7-star raids. Now, Greninja will be a 7-star poison type Terra raid, and it will have its ability Protein. Now, we know that Protein did get nerfed in this generation to where it can only change the Pokemon's type once, like Libero. And where, say, Greninja goes to use Aerial Ace or something, it'll only change into Flying type, and then if it tries to use Water Shuriken, it will not change back into a Water type. So I do personally think this is going to be difficult. The Black Crystal raids are notoriously difficult and whatnot. Like I said before, it took me at least 8 times to beat the Cinderace raids. It took me not as long, but still just as long to beat the Charizard raids. But usually there's a single Pokemon, one or two, that people bring in to kind of take down these Pokemon. I know for Charizard, it was Azumarill and Dachshund because Azumarill hits really hard with huge power and play rough, and Dachshund had well baked body and all of its fairy type moves at its disposal to take down the dragon type Charizard. And then in the Cinderace raids, we had Espathra Feather Dancing and Calm Mining to hit hard. And then we also had Slowbro, where you Iron Defense, Nasty Plotted, and then stored power to really just make that health bar disappear. Why I think this is going to be even more difficult is because the two types that are super effective against poison, psychic and ground, are covered by Greninja's natural typing of water and dark. So if you bring in, say, Slowbro with Iron Defense and Nasty Plot and Stored Power, one Night Slash will really kind of ruin your day. Yeah, you can get a few Iron Defenses up, but at the end of the day, like Slowbro, it's weak to dark types. And then if you try and go in with a ground type, then Greninja will hit you with a water attack. So Tay thinks that she has some ideas of what Pokemon we could be seeing being brought into these raid events. So I'm going to let her talk real quick about what we could possibly be seeing, and maybe even if she has an idea of what maybe move sets we could be seeing.
Well, I am glad you said that because I don't really have a huge idea. But, like, with these types of things, you have to get really creative with it, right? I myself, I try and do raids. I have failed at so many raids, it would actually be painful to watch me do so. I still have.
The raids are really hard this
They're
generation. Like
terrifying. They're. I've been waiting
they
to say
are
that since the. I've
terrifying.
been waiting to say that since the beginning of the podcast, for sure.
They are terrifying. But yes, like these raids are
Even the
not
five
like,
star.
yeah,
You can't do it by yourself.
they're not like the max raids in Gen 8 where
No,
you can learn how to basically like trick it. I think it's because the shields are not like Gen 8's, even though they really should be. But those shields, once they go up, you might as well just let the timer run out.
100%. And you have to play it so specifically because if you mess it up, it is such a pain. And then, just like you said with Slowbro, you really have to stack those calm minds and all those moves to be. But then the Pokemon can just nullify what you're doing. But it's very hard. So when I think of Greninja, right, in my head, I'm thinking about using something that's dark type. At least in my head. I think Hydreigon might be good because then if it turns dark, hold on, never mind. It's here's the thing. Here's the question. Okay, with protein. So, is it technically still you might have already explained this, but clearly I have things going one ear and out the other. Does it if it uses like say water shuriken, but it has
Mhm.
the Terra type as poison, does it become
It'll
water?
keep the po- it'll no, it'll keep the poison terror type.
Gotcha.
The Terra type overrides what type it is, to my knowledge. That is what's going on. The Terra type, because
Is
it's the
above all.
poison, it's above all.
Yes.
So that's what we're working towards beating the poison Terra type.
Hmm. So I think Hydreigon might be good because it's if it hits it with a dark type move, it's fine. Um, and then the other thing is that it can learn Psychic. I'm pretty sure, if
I'll
I'm not
Google that real
mistaken.
quick.
I
I will
th-
let you continue to talk while I
I
Google
think
this.
what we need here is we need a dark or ghost type. Well, I guess more dark type Pokemon to be able to resist those other dark moves while also knowing a psychic ability. And I know that those exist.
Oh yeah, the dark types like Umbreon. Umbreon can learn Psychic.
That's exactly. So I
So
think
do you think we could see Umbreon
we could.
be utilized a lot?
I Here's the thing. Umbreon's always been used as a bulky Pokemon, so I think that it's a for sure possibility of seeing Umbreon because it's a good support Pokemon in case any of your pals need it. Not that I think that's a strategy people are going to use, but it's bulky and it doesn't hit as hard, but it could.
Yeah.
It's such a complicated. Or I think we could also see a steel type.
Steel type. Yeah,
Steel
we
types
could.
are bulky in and of itself, so
Hydreigon can also not learn Psychic, but it can learn Zen Headbutt.
I am a fake Pokemon fan. You guys heard it here first.
But I get these raids are supposed to be challenging and make Pokemon fans like us think
Mm-hmm.
and think of ways to take down these raids.
Absolutely.
So I just wish that shield was a little bit more like paper and not like true steel. Because that is so infuriating. But I
What?
think it's also really cool that they decided to make Greninja the poison Terra type because with Charizard, the dragon Terra type, that made sense
Yeah.
because people have been saying since I was a kid that Charizard should have been a dragon type, should have been a dragon type. Then it got a dragon type mega.
Yep.
People are like, yay! And
X.
then megas went away and people are like, boo. And then with Cinderace, people were kind of low key fearing that it was going to be another firefighting type before it just turned out to be a pure fire type.
Yeah.
But this kind of almost in a way vindicated people's assumptions of, oh, Cinderace was supposed to be a firefighting type.
I will also be honest. I really thought that instead of going with Greninja, they might have been going to do like the whole line of Sword and Shield starters, and then going back and back and back. That was my assumption. I didn't think we were going to
That
go
would have
all the
been
way back
cool.
to X and Y.
That would have been cool, but I think because not every starter is going to be available in this generation, like how they weren't in Sword and Shield,
Yeah.
which, in my opinion, I this is the one time you'll ever hear me complaining about Pokemon not being in the game. I think that they should have the lines that should always be available in every game, no matter what, should be starters, the Pikachu line, and the Eevees.
Yes.
Those should be like just staples
No, I absolutely.
because people want to kind of live out their dream of start like people like me that have what they consider a home region. Hoenn is my home region and carry their starter through another region like Ash has done with Pikachu for 26 years now.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, I agree with you, and I'm someone who's a very not Nat Dexer because
Oh, no.
I could not care less of what Pokemon does with their game. It's a
Right.
lot. You
It's a
put so
lot.
much into each game.
There are over 1,000 Pokemon now.
Exactly. So I really I can't expect Game Freak to be like, oh, we're gonna pump out a game every year while also having over 1,000 Pokemon in it. That to me in my head, it's like I get it.
Over 1,000 Pokemon with each with a different unique model.
Yes, Cry, Model,
Try
Pokedex
model,
entry,
yes,
everything.
like people.
It's
Nat Nat Dexers, listen to me. It's not gonna happen.
no, it won't. And I surely don't care. I will still buy
I don't.
Pokemon games.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy Pokemon until the day I die.
100%. And then as for I also think another good option for these raids is going to maybe possibly be Dondozo, because Dondozo
Okay.
is a water type. It's
Mhm.
a little bulky, and as long as you can stack the things that you need to, because order up, I mean that'll boost your attack no matter what. Granted, it brings the shield on quicker and it brings bad things on quicker, but if I feel like it already does a lot of damage to begin with, and it's gonna resist
I mean,
any move.
if you're playing in co-op or playing with other players and you all just do stat boosting moves, that kind of slows down the shield a little bit
Mm-hmm.
because it really only activates the shield when it's being actively attacked.
Yes.
So, like, say for the Cinderace raids, if you all went in with four different Slowbro, you all each set up Iron Defense,
Mm-hmm.
Nasty Plot. Cinderace isn't going to do anything with its shield,
No.
but then you all hit it with a stored power, and it's like, what?
What
Ow!
what type is
That
Koraidon
hurt.
and the other one?
Maridon?
Miraidon.
Maridon? Koraidon is Fighting Dragon, and Miraidon is Electric Dragon. I had that correct. Yay. Uh, yeah, Koraidon is a Fighting Dragon type, and Miraidon is an Electric Dragon type.
We might see that too. I mean, that's what people did at raids, like 100% in the beginning. So it's possible that we can start to see that again. I don't know what kind of boosting moves they have, but it's very possible.
Yeah, it is.
It's just very
But
unfortunate, these raids.
these raids are very, very difficult, and I mean it's going to take some time to get used to them. We have all the time that we need because it's going to be a minute. We just got these games. It's going to be a minute before the next one comes out. So we'll learn how to take them down like we always have been, but definitely if I had access to the Pokemon Home, that would be a lot easier. Um,
You hear that,
but that
Game Freak?
concludes. Yeah, we're waiting. We're waiting. But that concludes our general topic slash opinions portion of the podcast. Coming up after the break, we will have our silly little question. And today's silly little question, Tay sent this to me early, either Saturday or Sunday morning. I was very sleepy when she sent me this, so I didn't see the full prompt, but she sent me a picture, and thought this was just so perfect. It is every baby Pokemon versus 1,000 lion cubs.
Who do you think would win?
Who do you think would win? Tay, I've been talking first the last few segments. I'm going to let you start this off.
Alright, let me set up. Listen, I am the general for these baby Pokemon. I. This is an army of great, adorable soldiers, and I plan not to let them down. One baby Pokemon, Bidoo, right? Bidoo is a grass type Pokemon. Bidoo is going to use, like, a move to come have grass roots come up from the ground, immobilizes all of the lions. All of them. Then Then we are going to have um Manti, the little water Pokemon,
Mantike.
Mantike, is gonna use Soak on all of the Cubs. Turns they're all water. You know where I'm going with this.
You're going
Next,
like full like
next,
war strategy.
I'm the general.
And you're acting like this is war and not going to be the cutest like wrestling match.
You just say cutest wrestling match? Not my soldiers. No, they've trained better for this. No, sir. Next up, we got Pichu. Pichu says no mercy upon these lion cubs. Thundershock.
PETA.
They're
PETA.
they've they're they've been soaked. Now they're conducting electricity upon all of these lion cubs. Then to finish them off, because these we don't even need all of the little Pokemon. But if any get through, we do have Toxo with those toxic spikes, and we have other Pokemon doing those spikes.
Still can't learn toxic
Well,
spikes.
guess what? I don't care. It's gonna because my soldiers are strong.
It can only learn four moves.
It's fine. Then, as Pichu does the electric shock, and they're all like zzz, paralyzed. Togepi, the grand baby Pokemon of Pokemon, is going to Hyper Beam with its head going down. The rest of the baby Pokemon are going to
Are are
spin her.
are, are you assuming that Togepi gets hyper beam from like metronome?
Yes, we've trained. I don't think you've realized we've trained for this moment. The rest of the Pokemon, they move her like a freaking cannon. Lion cubs blown out of existence. They're gone. They're dead. Their pack goes to look for them. They're gone. They're obliterated.
I want it known that last week you were looking at me in utter disgust and betrayal for wanting to eat Appleton and Dosh Button.
Mm-hmm.
And here you're talking about
Obliterating
like
lion
full on
cubs.
full on war with lion
Mm-hmm.
cubs.
So, to answer the question very politely and ladylike, I think the baby Pokemon would win, but only under my rule.
So I also think the baby Pokemon would win, but mine's a little less violent because for the sole reason of yes, this is going to be the most adorable wrestling match in existence because has anyone ever seen people like seen lion cubs playing with each other? That's adorable. That's adorable. But half of these baby Pokemon can either learn yawn or sleep powder. That's it. They're winning. And no violence.
There has to be violence
No
regardless.
no obliteration into nothingness.
But if they're asleep, does that count as a win?
Yes,
How?
because they can't fight back.
But that. How is that a win? You need to treat
Because they
this
can't
with
fight back.
honor and respect. How are they gonna go back to their families if they're asleep? No, you gotta obliterate them.
No. No.
Thousand baby cubs,
Because
no
honestly,
problem.
because honestly, because honestly, even if you think about it, in the early anime, like Kanto anime, asleep was considered a knockout.
It was. It was. I will say though, baby Pokemon are the reason that lions are endangered.
Yeah, if you're the one who's training them.
I am a general. I can't help. I can't help it. It's what we were trained to do in the army.
We're gonna get a call, or we're gonna get an email from PETA. Because last week we were just talking about eating make believe creatures. Like this week, you're talking about like obliterating actual creatures.
In a very fun
We're gonna get
scenario.
we're gonna get an email from PETA, and I really don't want to talk to those people.
Nah, nah. I'll just send him that one video of them outside of Wegmans. That's an inside joke. Sorry,
It is an
folks.
inside joke. But yes, let us know in the comments, who do you think is going to win every baby Pokemon or 1,000 lion cubs?
Let us
Let
know
us
your
know in the
strategy.
comments and why. Why do you think they're going to win? So, coming up after the final break, we're going to do our final look forward. I can't believe you're going to be that violent with those lion cubs. I can't believe that.
I told you. I did say I was going to
Oh
be a
my
general.
god. Oh my god.
Out of pocket question deserves an out of pocket answer.
I mean, not wrong, but like, damn. All right, so we were doing the final look forward. Doing the raids. What are you doing for the look forward?
Pokemon Center setting cuties.
Okay.
That's all we really gotta
And
look
then
forward to.
and then I was also going to issue an apology at the very end of last week's like technical difficulties.
That works with me.
All right. Final look forward in three, two. Thank you everybody for watching this video, this podcast. We wanted to first apologize for last week's technical issues. I, one, was not feeling great. I was very much suffering from a nasty stomach bug. And so I just didn't even see whenever I was editing that whenever I uploaded it, it only uploaded the first 9 minutes. And then Tay and I had a wonderful time trying to get it uploaded. That's why we were a little late on getting that to you guys. But from now on, we will be getting this up on time. We think we figured it out and figured out all the technical glitches along with the audio too. That one was a real big surprise for
I
us.
fixed it.
But we got it done, we got it fixed. But now looking forward, wanted to remind everyone again that starting this weekend, January 20th through the 22nd, we will be seeing the Driftblim and Miss Magius raids in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And then looking forward even more, we've got the Greninja 7-star raids from January 27th through the 29th. And then again, February 10th through the 12th. And now, Tay, you're also talking about looking forward to the Sitting Cuties.
Yeah, we still don't have a date on it for US, but like I said, it is bound to come within these next few weeks because it did just release from the Pokemon Center website. Even seeing it on, because we post these on Wednesday, and we're filming this on Monday, even on Tuesday, it's possible that they could come for the first wave. I know that all of them are on the Pokemon Center website, or on the Mecha Japan, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm pretty sure the Pokemon website is going to do it in waves because that's just how they like to do things and not break their website. And Big Fuecoco, Sprigatito, and Quaxley. Will we see those? Don't know, but I'm looking forward to it.
But again, thank you all for watching this week's podcast. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Send us your silly little questions, your general topics or opinions. You can either write those in the comments or tweet at us
Chew News 1.
or you can send them to us an email at chewnewswithtnd@gmail.com. Thank you again, and we will talk to you again next week. But remember, when you choose your news, choose
Chew
Chew
News.
News. Bye, guys.